Hello, and welcome to this episode of Raising Digital Kids. Today I want to talk a little bit more about the iPad, specifically some of the apps on the iPad that I think are really interesting when we talk about literacy. I take this everywhere, and I put it in the hands of kids, and I put it in the hands of the elderly, and I put it in just everyone's hands to see how they'll interact with it. An interesting comment I got in the cafe the other morning with some of the elderly folks that were using it was, this isn't hard, you just touch it. And that's really sort of how that interface works, is that they just touch the thing and something launches. But what I wanted to show you was one of the apps that really seemed to grab their attention, and that was iBooks. And there are other apps that do this book thing, right? But when you're talking about people, let's say kids who are just starting to read and they need nice, big, friendly words, what's fun is you can control the font size, you can control the contrast. You have a lot more control over the way you read on here than any device that I've ever seen. I want to just show you here, if I click this here, this A at the top, I can control how big the font gets, right? I can control dark and light and contrast. If you have vision issues, this could be a really, really big deal. Now let's say those words aren't very big. When you turn it this way, of course, you get a larger page. My elderly friends at the cafe that morning were all over this, but I could also see kids looking at this and seeing it as very interesting. When you're reading a book like this one's Winnie the Pooh, you'll see that all the illustrations are in color and they're just plain gorgeous. Now this is a paid application. Of course, well, you get it for free, but you buy the books. And let's just take a look at the way that works for just a moment. So you've got the application. Anytime you want, you can click library and go back to your library. Here are your shelves. You can see I've only got 2 books so far. As you get books, they go on the shelf. And you can have multiple sort of shelves. If I click store, it flips around and it takes me online to the Apple Store where I buy books for reasonable, normal market value prices. And that's cool. If you want to buy books and do that, you can. But what I find equally interesting is there are apps out there like this one called FreeBooks. And FreeBooks lets you go out there and explore the world of public domain books that cost nothing. Nothing, okay? So if you want to have books for your kids this summer, let's say a summer reading library. Of course this works on the iPod Touch, and this works on the iPhone, and this works on the iPad, and most likely works on the Android or the Droid series of phones. But let's look at one of the books on here. If I click this one here, I'm into the page of a book. If I double click, it flips down and I'm to the next page. I can scroll through the book really quickly from page to page with this here. This app costs nothing. The books for it cost nothing. To me, that's very exciting. So when you look at a device like this, $499 purchase price for a Wi-Fi version, a 16 gig iPad, that's kind of steep, depending on what you want to do with it. If it's going to become your summer library, well, that's pretty good. If it's going to be your web machine, that's good. If it's your email machine, that's good. If it's the way you see pictures, oh my gosh. So, I mean, this could be sort of a big deal depending on how you use it. I want to look at a couple of more applications. The way you see, let's say, the newspaper. Now, I travel a lot, and I'm in a lot of hotels where I get the USA Today on the outside of my hotel room door. The other day, I'm reading USA Today on my iPad, and I look down and pick up my paper version, and I've got them both in my hand, and I'm thinking, which one should I read? Now, I like this one, but okay, if I'm struggling with font size, I can increase the font size on this one, make it smaller or bigger. I can make the contrast darker or lighter. I can make it more extreme so I can see better. And news changes on this as it happens, where if I buy a USA Today paper copy, I have to wait 24 hours to get new news. So it's interesting, I think, if you put one beside the other. I think Grandma is not going to mind reading USA Today from an iPad because she has all kinds of control. I think this might be the machine that finally wins Grandma and has her using the web. At the same time, maybe has Grandma reading to the grandkids. What's exciting is that these applications are remarkably inexpensive once you get into this thing here. Want to write? You've got notes. It's like a white steno pad, a yellow steno pad. I click new and I'm writing, right? Got the kids journaling in the back seat during vacation. You've got your keyboard that pops up right here. Turn it sideways, you've got a larger keyboard. Just a lot of interesting things you can do with reading and writing on this particular device. I challenge us as we get these devices to get our kids to do things with them that are interesting, to create things, to learn things with these remarkable technologies. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.